freshman year of high school, I joined a competitive cheer team. As part of our uniform, we were required to wear our makeup exactly the same way every single time we performed. That included us wearing false eyelashes or using the 3D liquid lash extension mascara. At this point in my life, I had never worn false eyelashes before. I had tried putting them on a few times, but I always failed pretty miserably. And the 3D lash mascara always made a huge mess all over my face. Also, as a freshman in high school, my first homecoming was coming up. This is when I decided that I finally needed to figure out how to put on fake eyelashes. I had practiced putting them on a few times before the dance, but I would leave them on for just a few minutes before I took them off again. On the day of homecoming, I got ready about 4 hours before the dance because I also had to do my friend's makeup and take pictures and go to dinner. The eyelashes went on pretty smoothly and everything was going great. About halfway through the dance, my eyes started getting really itchy and my date just started ignoring me. Like for part 2. As a freshman in high school, my first homecoming was just around the corner. That's when I decided I needed to figure out how to wear fake eyelashes. I had practiced putting them on in the days leading up to the dance. On the day of homecoming, I got ready and did my makeup a few hours before the dance actually started. The eyelashes went on fine and they looked great. But about halfway through the night, my eyes started getting really itchy and my date started ignoring me. At first, I didn't think much of it and I just went and hung out with some friends. But as the night went on, my eyes started getting itchier and they started feeling really heavy. That's when I decided to call my mom to come pick me up. About 30 minutes later, my mom texted me and said she was outside of the dance waiting on me. When I got in my mom's car, the first thing I did was take off my heels and my eyelashes. That's when my mom turned and looked at me and my eyes were almost completely swollen shut. I had been having an allergic reaction to the latex and the eyelash glue for over 5 hours.
I got my best friend expelled. Story time. When I was in high school, I used to have this best friend named Kyle. And we used to mess with each other all the time. Like this one time, he smacked our gym teacher's butt and convinced him it was me, and I got suspended for like 2 days. So of course, I had to get him back. So when I returned to school, I came up with this prank that may have went a little too far. I stayed after school and waited for all the teachers to go home. Went to his homeroom class and destroyed it. I mean, I really messed it up. I dumped over the teacher's desk, took a permanent marker and wrote all over the students' desks. And then I took that permanent marker and signed Kyle's name on the whiteboard. The next day, Kyle got called to the office and I thought he was just going to get suspended like I did. But they actually decided to expel him. And he couldn't convince them that it wasn't him because our school didn't have cameras at the time. Until this day, he doesn't know it was me.
Story of the time I went off on my coworker. So a few months ago, I got a job as a hostess. Literally horrible decision. I have no idea why I did that. But anyway, there were these 2 girls that were best friends that worked there. And they both had the same name. We're gonna call them Sarah. There was blonde Sarah and brunette Sarah. So I think it was like my second shift where I was working with both of them. Blonde Sarah was working for the to-go orders, and then brunette Sarah was a waitress. The restaurant opened at 11, but customers wouldn't come until after 12, so they only put 2 servers on between 11 and 12. So this day I worked at 11, and when I got in there, it was brunette Sarah and then another server. And for whatever reason, everybody and their mother decided to go to the restaurant that morning, which as a hostess isn't good because I'm not supposed to be overwhelming the servers by like sitting them with a million people at a time, you know? So since this is one of my first shifts, I didn't know what to do, so I asked the manager, should I keep on sitting Sarah? Because the entire other person's section is full. And the manager was like, yes, you're gonna have to just keep sitting her. And I was like, well, she's gonna get really overwhelmed, are you sure? And then he was like, yeah, what else are we gonna do? And I was like, okay, I guess. So I filled Sarah's entire section. She looked so angry at me. And listen, I hated working there because all of the waiters and waitresses would get mad at me if their section was full. Like, it's not my fault. So as a hostess, I was also a busser. So I had to bring plates to the back. And the to-go order people were in the back. So when I go back there, I see brunette Sarah is with blonde Sarah. I would try to smile at them, but then they would just give me nasty looks. They were standing by the exit. I walk past them to get out and they go, "Bleh."
I burned down the house. Story time. When I was a little kid, I used to love making potions. Not real ones, of course. I would just mix random things together like my mom's perfumes, her hair products, or just random stuff I found around the house. And yes, I would get in trouble every single time, but I still did it anyway. Now, normally when I made potions, they would be harmless. You know, no one would ever get hurt. Until this one day where I took it a little bit too far. So I decided I was gonna make a love potion. It was for this person I had a crush on, but that's besides the point. So at the time, in my head, you had to mix everything pink in your house together, write your crush's name on a piece of paper, set it on fire, and then drop it into the potion. Now, that sounds easy enough, but the problem was I made the potion flammable. I put all my mom's pink perfumes in it, and then on top of that, I put in a whole bottle of pink nail polish remover, which is extremely flammable. So as I was dropping the lit piece of paper with my crush's name into the potion, it caught fire. I tried to put it out, but I dropped it, and then the whole house caught fire.
There was this boy in my kindergarten class. We'll name him Stan. Stan was the kid who would pick his nose, eat weird lunches, and was the class clown, but like nobody laughed at anything he said because all his jokes were like poopy jokes. I don't know why I remember this. It's pretty random, but it's just one of those memories that have stuck with me throughout all these years. So this girl, we'll name her Bella. She was always trying to get everyone in trouble. She would tattletale on everyone. And I didn't have the typical kindergarten teacher. The one that's like, okay kids, we're gonna pass the ball around and say what we loved about our summer. And then we're gonna eat these cupcakes that I brought. No. My kindergarten teacher was like, why are you talking during nap time? Why are you packing your books at 2:59? We end at 3. So long story short, I was terrified of her. So anyway, the teacher told us to open our notebooks. Logan opened his to the middle of the book and not like the next clean page. And the teacher yelled at him. So I said to Bella, Logan's so stupid. Bella was like, ooh. Then she tattled on me.
Me, my husband, and our 15-year-old daughter, Georgia, went to my sister's place for lunch this past weekend. Georgia is very bright. She completed her exams early and is now studying more advanced material. She's a big fashionista, a lot more than I was at that age. She loves pretty clothes and outfits, and we're happy to get her as much as we can, provided she behaves well and keeps up the good grades. The lunch with my sister was fairly casual, but Georgia wore her new pink dress. My sister isn't as well off as we are, unfortunately, and she is raising 3 children on her own, and her job isn't a high-paying one. In the past, she asked me if Georgia could tone down her outfits when we come to visit because she doesn't want her kids being upset because they can't afford things like that. I do get my sister's point, but it's not down to me to police what Georgia wears. I've spoken to Georgia about it, but I left the final decision to her. Anyway, so we went for lunch and Georgia ended up getting into an argument when my sister's 13-year-old daughter Lucy asked about the dress and where it was from. Georgia answered that it didn't matter because Lucy couldn't afford it anyway. We told Georgia to shut up as soon as the comment left her lips, but it soon ended up with Georgia and Lucy screaming at each other. My sister made the kids vanilla milkshakes, and Lucy decided to throw hers all over Georgia, ruining the dress. Georgia burst into tears, and to be fair, my sister did bring her a change of clothes. I said that if the dress was permanently ruined, I wanted my sister to reimburse us. My sister has refused and said that it was our responsibility because my daughter wore an expensive dress despite being warned not to. The dress cost a couple of $100 and washing it has failed to completely remove the stains. Frankly, I don't care about my sister's warnings. We can't make Georgia wear what she doesn't want to, and it's not our problem that she can't control her child and stop her from ruining a beautiful dress.